of time, I want to talk about, well, the epidemic of shoplifting. We've been talking about it for ages on this show. Everyone else has caught up, as usual, eventually. We're ahead on everything on TalkTV. As you'll know as a regular audience member, the epidemic of shoplifting is completely out of control. You've got the likes of the John Lewis chairman, Dame Sharon White talking about it. We've got Waitrose saying, we actually have to basically bribe police officers to come in the shop with free coffee and tea to get them to actually be here to get rid of, to put off shoplifters, because if they do actually shoplift, no one actually comes. Well, was it not then inevitable that we were going to see shopkeepers taking matters into their own hands? Candice Holsworth's still with me. I don't know if you've seen this video. Now, for you if you're listening, I'll describe it, but if you're watching on TV, do have a look at our TalkTV feed. The really quite extraordinary scenes in Peckham in South London. A protest ended up being held yesterday afternoon. Off social media footage showed an altercation, I think we'll call it, between a member of staff and a customer went viral. This is outside Peckham Hair and Cosmetics on Rye Lane, and it appeared to show a member of staff grappling with a woman while she asked for the police to be called. However, a longer video shows he's clearly suspecting her of shoplifting, tries to grab her, stop her leaving the store. She is bashing him around the head and beating him. He then grabs her by the throat, and he's got his hands around her throat. It was really quite unpleasant to watch. Yeah. She has now been arrested on suspicion of assault. She's been bailed pending further inquiries. It's not believed that any action has been taken yet against the shopkeeper. What do you make of this footage, from what you see? Because it's very unpleasant to watch.
Yeah, well,
but are shopkeepers being pushed into a situation where they feel they have to act? Because if this woman, and again, we don't know whether she was a shoplifter or not, they're never going to get those goods back, and the police aren't going to do anything about it.
Well, we have a visceral reaction seeing a man place his hands around a woman's throat. I mean, we just do. And, you know, I don't want to excuse his actions in any way. The problem of shoplifting is a real one. I mean, the Daily Mail's been doing a number of editorials on this. I mean, Sunday they had a big editorial saying we need to get on top of this now. It's becoming a huge problem. And with police inactivity, people are actually trying to solve the problem themselves now. I think, I forget the name of the town in England, maybe it will come to me. But, you know, they're actually posting stuff online about goods that have gone missing from their shop, the CCTV footage of it, and communities are coming together and identifying the perpetrators. I mean, that's what's happening now. That's how much of an issue it's starting to become.
And people feel the police are not acting. All right, well, let's talk to Bushra Shaikh, who's a political commentator and joins us now. Good morning, Bushra.
Morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. I mean, look, this has been turned into something of a race row, has it? Hey, it's 2023 Britain. Of course it's turned into a race row, where it does appear, I mean, the woman customer is black. It would appear, I can't say for sure that the shopkeeper, the shop owner, appears to be of Asian appearance. I'm not sure that this is a race issue, but it's certainly been turned into one, and certainly that's what the protesters outside this store saw. I'm thinking this is really just an issue of basically a lawlessness on our streets. But what did you make of it all?
Totally, Julia. I was totally alarmed by the position that certain individuals had taken across social media. They made it about the South Asian community versus the black community, and said that the South Asian community have forever been marginalising black people, and especially in the black cosmetic products department. So the entire...
That's how it... How did people manage to turn a suspected shoplifting case into that?
It's totally bizarre. And even after speaking to Sahel, who was the shop owner, he said that this wasn't a racially motivated incident. 99% of his customer base are all the black community in Peckham. So how they've made it about race, for me, is totally bizarre. And that was the angle that I was coming from when I was talking about it, because I was extremely surprised that people were pushing this as race. And my concern was the whole Black Lives Matter movement moving into the UK and having these false protests, which after 24 hours is just going to die down. And we're going to be left with the shop owner has to have detrimental effects to his business, which is his livelihood.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key thing. Again, I did think it just quite bizarre why anyone would immediately jump to that, but that's what people jump to now. But again, the same idea that, black cosmetics aren't available. Well, then start up a shop. If, I'm really tall. If I'm going to moan about there not being trousers long enough, I'll start a tall trouser shop. I mean, for goodness sake. But this is the thing. In terms of the behaviour, there is a longer video rather than just the one. If you just see the video of this big guy, He was a big, solid guy, grabbing a woman by her neck, her beating him. We could play the video a bit more for those that are watching on the TV. And her, she's got a basket and she's holding on to something else in one hand. That woman ain't letting that go. And she is bashing him with this basket. I mean, they are grappling around the store. If you just see that footage, you know, she looks very much like the victim. Now, she has been arrested on suspicion of assault. The shoplifting doesn't appear to have been an issue. Again, she didn't leave the store, so I think you can't even prosecute for shoplifting if someone hasn't left the store, which is why, presumably, if he suspects her of shoplifting, he was trying to stop her from leaving the store, knowing that nothing would come of it if he did. But if you watch the longer video, he is watching her for some time. He is suspicious. I'm guessing, having spoken to a lot of shop owners and shop managers in my local area, they know who people are who are regular shoplifters. They also can see the sort of behaviour that is going to be suspicious. They're watching someone, they see something happening, they're looking at the cameras, they're looking in the mirrors, you know, and they can see that someone shoplifted. They have a right to take action. What would be a reasonable of action for someone to take to stop someone leaving their store with stolen goods?
Well, this is, Julia, a huge question, and I was asking myself that as well. Personally, for myself, I believe that she was the aggravator in the situation. It's that victim mentality, the projection that comes through, the entitlement of the customer that assumed that she could do as she pleased in that shop and then use the female card afterwards against the shop owner. He has full right as a shop owner to protect his goods. I totally applaud him for doing that, because we're living in a society where people are too scared and soft that they cannot do as they please. That's his shop. She was disrupting the other clients in there and has taken zero responsibility for her behaviour. Do I condone the extent of restraint? No. But what do you expect from a 6'3" man who's being smashed over the head with a shopping
Well, that's the thing. I was thinking, he ain't allowed to hit her. That wouldn't be allowed. What level of restraint do we allow? And how much frustration are we allowing to build up with? I'm guessing that he's got people coming in. Now, again, the neck thing, as Candice said, just really looks... I mean, I wouldn't want to be married to him. Just saying that, but it doesn't make for comfortable viewing. However, what level of frustration must a shopkeeper have who's got people shoplifting? I doubt very much that Peckham High Street is any different to any other high street. Day in, day out, they've got people coming in. They call the police. They know who they are. They know where they live, and the police do absolutely nothing about it. And they know the only way we're going to stop those goods being stolen, and that's our profit for the week, that we have to stop them leaving the store. What is a reasonable level of force to use?
Well, I certainly know that it's, I think shopkeepers should be allowed to restrain, individuals, especially when he already called the police. The thing is about Peckham is this is not an isolated incident. There are several other videos circulating on social media with young women doing the very same things in these Asian-owned black product shops. So this is very, very common. And this aggression...
But hold on a minute. I buy, basically white-skinned products in Boots, and they're having their stuff stolen as an organised crime. I don't think this has got anything to do with race.
It has absolutely nothing to do with race. That's the excusability coming out of individuals' mouths to not take responsibility. Look, at the end of the day, Julia, if a stereotype exists, it exists for a reason. How about as a community, you stop falling into that stereotype? They were claiming racial profiling. She was the aggressor. She would refuse the credit note. She became the stereotype that they claimed that they are being marginalised for. Stop behaving like that to begin with.
All right, Bushra Shaikh, thank you for that. Social and political commentator, thank you. Come back to Candice. I mean, that footage, it really is quite shocking. And I think for all of us, all three women, it's the neck thing. Really just, we know that is a control thing. But again, I'm just trying to think, you're trying to stop someone. I've called the police, can stop leaving the store. If she's not stolen anything, now, you don't want to be accused. You don't want to be accused of being a shoplifter. Okay.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Enough,
yeah, that's happened to me.
I've only been accused once, but I was 15 and I had actually shoplifted.
Oh, it happened to me.
So I'm great shame. I'm admitting it, but it was with great shame.
No, I hadn't stolen anything. I just went in, saw they hadn't got what I wanted, so I walked out and she chased me down the street saying, "Open your bag, open your bag."
No, I don't have a duty to open my bag.
And I was just like, what? I was so furious. I really freaked out about it. I was angry. I was like, how dare you? She said, you looked like someone who we know who comes into the shop and shoplifts. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not that person. You can't do that.
Did you show her your bag?
No.
Because on principle, this person doesn't have a right to do that.
No.
Well, this is the thing. If they were saying, I need to see your bag before you leave the store, and I've seen that the local, the store detectives in my local shops, you know, trying to stop people. Again, if someone wants to just push past, there's very little they can do because they're basically told, look, don't stop them. It's not worth it. You're going to have a big fight. You know, there'll be prosecutions.
Especially
and
with me,
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't take you on. That's a compliment, by the way. But you know, how much are people willing to do? Now, it's different, isn't it? If you're a security guard employed by a store, or the manager of a store, it's very different from if you are the owner of that store. That is your and your family's livelihood, and people are stealing your stuff.
From that perspective,
and you know the profit margin you've got on different things, and also the message that goes out. Oh, by the way, you know, they're a soft touch.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm thinking he's going to have a lot less shoplifting because, oh, by the way, you come in my store and you get accused of shoplifting, you try and break, you're going to basically have my hands around your throat. I'm thinking he's going to be making more profit from now on.
Maybe all the furore around it will have damaged his reputation badly. I mean, you know, this is an area where, you know, he could possibly
Should he be prosecuted?
I don't think you should be grabbing people around the throat. Maybe we need to take the circumstances into account, though. I don't think people should grab people around the throat. I totally understand.
Well, if he'd knocked her to the ground to stop her from bashing him,
he was obviously.
What are men allowed to do if a woman is smashing them around their head with a?
No, they should totally restrain them. And I think in most cases, a man will have the superior strength to do that.
And he was a big guy, and it's fascinating. If you've not seen the video footage, do take a look at it. It's really quite shocking.